You know, there's a problem going on right now. Digital games are on the rise compared to physical games. Glad to have you with us today. And there's something that we got to talk about because, we're all, as a fellow gamer myself, the thing is that it's just been really concerning to me that, especially these big game studios, they're starting to release possibly just digital game. And we have to put a stop to this because the reason why I'm saying this is because now people are going to say, what about indie games? Indie games is different. I'm talking about the big AAA studios, AAA game. Because with indie game, at least when you download the games, you're owning them because you're usually buying directly from the publishers themselves. So you own the game. It's not like they have these activation servers. That's the difference. But I'm talking about these AAA games. And what's concerning to me, especially what Nintendo's doing, that's another video for another day about Nintendo, because that's just really sneaky what Nintendo did. But you got the era of physical games might be drawn to the end if we don't do something about it. And here's the thing: why we should do something about it, why it's important is because again, just like if you buy a movie online, let's say through Apple TV or YouTube, whatever, you don't necessarily own the content. You just own a license that you can just saying that yes, I have bought this license for this. And anytime these studios or publishers can change the terms and condition. They could just take everything away on a whim. And what are you going to do about it? This is why the age of piracy is rising again. And I support it because the problem is that if we go to digital and we don't have any physical copy, I mean, some of us are collectors like myself. I want to, have the physical copy where I could just, there's nothing generating than just open the case, getting that CD or this cartridge or cartridge and stick it into the console. It's just like you're about to have a good time. And those days are being numbered because they figured that hey, they're going to make an excuse saying that hey, it costs this money to um you know to build this disc or whatever it is, and according to the data, people are not buying no more physical, they're buying digital because of convenience. Well, that's something that we need to look back for. You know, if you can buy a physical copy, I would say just do it because you want to own that game. And I'm not telling anybody what to do. It's just I'm gonna repeat myself. It's just a suggestion to try to get the physical copies because, again, if we start buying more of the digital copy, you already see that games are now averaging $80, $90, and that's just the standard edition. Normally at that price, normally it's like the grand deluxe edition or whatever it is. But no, this is the standard edition. And games are going to get more expensive from here on out because guess what? The markup, they can mark up as much as they want because there's no physical cartridge. There's nothing that they don't have to sell in stores no longer. That means if it's stores like GameStop that we grew up with, EB Games and stuff, those stores are going to take a hit because they're not selling no more physical copy. And that's one of the reasons why Nintendo created those key cards to at least people who want physical copies or whatever, they have to go to the store and buy them or whatever. But it doesn't do any justice. You should always have options for the physical games, and they're going by data. Remember, this is a data driven world now, you know. And the thing is that these companies, some of these CEOs that don't have heart, they care about the bottom line. Nintendo, I'm looking at you. They don't care. They just look at the bottom line. And they know that if a certain amount of people are not buying physical games somewhere and they're buying digital, what's the point of having um, physical copy? And at one point, pretty soon, these next gen consoles they're going to come out, they ain't going to have no disc drive. What's the point? And my PS5, I got the disc edition. All my consoles have the disc editions. I didn't get and even my Xbox One S. I didn't get the X. I didn't get the X and stuff because it didn't make any sense at the time. But again, all my consoles at least have a disc. And then this crazy thing is that even with Sony, with some of these next gen consoles, the newer versions, like if you want to add um, a disk drive or whatever, then they got to activate a server. This is crazy. We're getting to this activation crazy crap. Anyway, the point is that we should support physical copies of games. And I know the digital games are out of convenience and they have increased some storage capabilities of some of these game consoles. But again, you know, physical copies is going to help balance between the gamers and the publishers because we don't want to give too many control to these big game studios. And you see already Sony and all that, they're just buying these game studios left and right. Pretty soon, you ain't going to have no options left. And if they decide that they just gonna do digital only release, guess what? You're doing it. That's it. You're not gonna have a say so. But I think we should vote for our vote with our dollars. We shouldn't support things like that. Look what's going on in Europe. They're doing a right to game. That's another video too. But basically, you know how some of these games that hit end of life, they close down the server, and basically your game is a dud. But what they should do is just open up to the open source community, in my honest opinion, or or I'll leave it to the modding community. We have a wonderful modding community in the gamer community. Let it be up to them to do something like that. At least keep the game alive because I paid $50 or $60 for it. But what do you think, folks? Do you think this right? What I'm saying? Do you think that there should always be a physical copy, or should we just go with the flow? Digital is the future, and we should just shut up and just get used to the $80, $90. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate it, guys. Hope y'all have a wonderful day.